welcome to YARConf 24. My name is Anna Уварова, and today I'm going to talk to you about the big art and how to introduce it into your preschool English classroom. But first, I would love to introduce myself. So my name is Anna Уварова, and I'm a methodologist at Pavlovo School, and I'm also an ESL teacher. I focus mostly on CLIL, and I'm interested in researching CLIL and its effects on very young learners' language acquisition. And I'm also a CLIL course designer. I design materials and courses for very young learners and young learners based on CLIL. But I'm sure when you saw the title of my talk, you expected to see a person who is really into art, but there is nothing about art in my portfolio, let's say. Even more, I used to hate art. I used to go to galleries just because I was supposed to go there, and I would look at paintings and I would see just a yellow house and blue sky and nothing else. But then one day, I went to the National Gallery with a friend of mine, and we were walking around, and then we stopped in front of one painting, and he started asking me some questions about it. While answering these questions, I noticed that it wasn't just a painting, there was a story behind it. So it wasn't that painting, I don't remember which one it was, but anyway, then I saw that it's not just, for example, a yellow house and blue sky, that it's a sunny day, and even more, that it's afternoon, and the people are a bit tired after this sunny day. So when I learned that, I realized that I can also teach this to my kids. I can help them see the story behind a painting. And that's how I started introducing big art into my very young learners' classrooms. But still, there is one thing that has never changed. This is my drawing skills. I still draw like that. And my children love it a lot because they always know that they can draw better than me. And I'm fine with that.
Хотите постоянно развиваться в преподавании иностранных языков? Школа Дмитрия Никитина проводит образовательные тренинги, конференции и курсы для преподавателей. Подробности о событиях можно узнать по ссылке в описании.
So today I'm going to tell you why to introduce the big art in ESL classroom, how to do that, and how to work with it. And we will also discuss with you why to focus on the big art from the kids' point of view. So let's get started. So, why do we need it? The first answer is very obvious, because kids love pictures and paintings, and they create interest in your lesson. Kids get interested in your lesson when you use different paintings and pictures. The brighter they are, the more interested the kids are. Then, the big art prepares your kids for future discussions, because when there is a painting, it's not that you just show the painting to them. You also discuss it, which means that it creates context for natural language use. It also boosts their cognitive development and encourages them to think critically. And the last 2 points we are going to discuss a bit later, and I'm sure you will see what I mean. So now we know why, but how? How do we do that? So I decided to share with you 5 simple ways how you can introduce a painting in your lesson. And I'm sure that once you get used to them, you will come up with your own way how you can do that. So number 1 is very simple. That's a jigsaw puzzle. So print out the painting, cut it into random shapes, give these shapes to your students, and here you are. The students start solving the puzzle. At first, I usually do it all together as a group, because you need to show them how to cooperate and how they can solve this puzzle all together in turn. But then, and they need to know some key language as well, right? But then, once they get used to this activity, They can do it in pairs or in mini groups. You can also do it online if you want. So there are different websites where you can create your own jigsaw puzzles. And usually my learners would just tell me where I should put some particular pieces. The second one is a secret roll box, envelope, whatever, just name it. I don't know. So the idea, what I usually do, it's not that I just give them the secret roller box. So they have to find it. So you give them some directions, they follow your directions and they find the secret roll and then they see what painting there is. The next one is a pretend play, art gallery. And it's not just art gallery. No, you have to travel to this art gallery. You have to buy tickets and then you need to discuss the rules. And only after that, you can finally get to the hall where you will see the painting. So this way of introducing a piece of art also allows you to practice some survival language, such as buying something. And you can do it in your classroom, or you can use your classroom and the hall next to your classroom. The next one is a reveal game. You can also do it online or offline. It's up to you. If you do it online, there are special websites where you can create this reveal game. And you're welcome to text me. I'll give you all these websites. The idea is very simple, so that each child, one by one, names the box you need to open. They give you a number. And the person who can guess what is hidden in the painting wins this game. When you do it offline, you can make it even more interesting. So instead of having numbers on these boxes, you may draw pictures to revise some vocabulary, or you may have some sight words as well. So they need to read a sight word or name the picture, and only after that you can flip it over. You're welcome to have as many boxes, as many squares as you want. And the last one is a binoculars game. We pretend that we have binoculars and we look at the painting through our binoculars. And I have a painting and then I cover it with a big paper, much bigger than the painting itself, with these holes. And I move this big paper around the painting. And again, my kids need to guess what is hidden in the painting. When you do it online, it's a bit easier because you don't need to find this big paper, right? So there is a PPT from Twinkle, and you just upload your painting there. Again, I'm always ready to share that as well. The main ideas you can see that we never just show painting to them. We create some mystery around this painting, and they need to do something to get it, to conquer it. And then the kids get more interested in the painting itself, and they are ready to discuss it more. So if you do a jigsaw puzzle or if you do a reveal game, so first, for example, solve a puzzle, and then you have a new copy, the one which is not cut into pieces, and you discuss this copy. All right. So we have introduced the painting. Now, what are we going to do next? We should work with it. So how do we do that? Let's see. Do we just look at the painting? No, there is much more than just looking at the painting. So there is a lot, when we talk about learning, we always rely on Bloom's taxonomy. And the same when we work with art. So we do different activities, having in mind our Bloom's taxonomy, and we start from lower order thinking skills, and step by step we go to our higher order thinking skills. Let's look at an example. So we are going to discuss with you painting by Claude Monet, which is called Water Lily Pond. And I'm going to be a bit slow here because I want to give you some time to experience it yourself. So how your perception of this painting will change throughout all the stages. At first, the first stage is just remember, or sometimes it's called knowledge. And that's the moment when we just see what we see. What can you see? How many trees are there? What color are the trees? What's there in the water? What color are the flowers? How many flowers are there? Is this bridge big? Or is it small? All right. Now, once we have explored the painting itself, let's go a little bit deeper and let's think. The trees are green. What season is it? What's the weather like? Is it morning or afternoon? Does it make you happy or sad? So I combine here two stages, understand and apply, because it's quite hard for me to separate them. But the idea is that that's when you try to, based on what you have seen in the painting, you try to understand it a little bit deeper. And now we've finished with our low order thinking skill. Let's go to a bit higher order thinking skills, and let's get to the stage of analysis. Imagine that you were there. What could you hear there? Could you hear some birds? Could you hear some frogs? Or maybe you could hear some monkeys there. What could you smell? What could you touch? And what could you feel with your skin? And what can you do in this painting? Can you swim? Can you run? Or can you sleep there? Okay, that's when we try to go a little bit even more deeper. Oh, I'm sorry, deeper. Now, let's go even more. Let's go further. And let's try to evaluate it. What do you like about this painting? What don't you like? Where would you stand in this painting? I would stand on the bridge in the middle, and I would lean forward to enjoy this calmness and quietness. Where would you stand? What would you do there? What would you add to the painting? I would add a cup of coffee, to be honest, and just having, standing on the bridge, leaning forward and having this cup of coffee. What about you? What would you add to the painting? Now, these are the stages that help me understand the painting better. And I'm sure that now you can feel it, that you see this painting in another way right now. But when I start with my kids, when it's our first time to discuss a painting, we never do all the stages. We usually start with number 1, and we may touch a little bit number 2, the second stage. And then when they get used to the idea of talking about paintings, step by step, we go further. All right. There is one more question. I'm sure that you have been thinking about that. So I ask a lot of questions to my kids, but how do they understand me when it's so new to them? So what we do at first, we usually use flashcards. So when I ask them about weather, I would show them some flashcards of different weather. When I ask them what they want to add to the painting, I would show to them some pictures. For example, here I can show them pictures of mini bees and different animals. Okay, now we have evaluated the painting. Now let's try to create something. And our last stage is called create. And that's when we try to create something ourselves, having in mind everything that we have been discussing, that we have discussed. All right, right here, there is an art project. And that's a project that we used with our kids. And we created our own font. And even we made some paper flowers. And it was a kind of experiment because these paper flowers, they were folded and then we put them on water and then these paper flowers opened up when they were on water. You can also do some craft or you can act out the scene. And when I say act out the scene, I mean that I give roles to my kids. So somebody can be a tree, somebody will be flowers, somebody can be a bridge, and then we imagine that it's windy and everything starts moving. Then it becomes rainy, or maybe it's very dark. And we act out how we feel in this painting. Okay, now we know how to work with the big art. But now let's find out how do we fit it in our curriculum? Because we are always short of time. Our programs are usually very intensive. So what do we do? How do we do that?
Хотите постоянно развиваться в преподавании иностранных языков? Школа Дмитрия Никитина проводит образовательные тренинги, конференции и курсы для преподавателей. Подробности о событиях можно узнать по ссылке в описании.
So I usually use it in two situations, either as a lead-in activity, and when I say lead, I mean not a separate lesson, I mean a group of lessons, a block of lessons devoted to one topic. And to start this topic, I use a painting, or I can use it as a consolidation stage. So for example, if we talk about a lead-in way of dealing with a painting, let's say, so we can start with this Pond, right, by Claude Monet, and at the stage when I asked them what they would love to add to the painting, I would have prepared my mini beasts, because our topic is mini beasts, and we would add them to the pond, and then we would start learning this new vocabulary, and our creation stage would come later. I can also use it to consolidate the topic, to review it, and instead of for example, if we have been talking about farm topic and our last lesson will be devoted to painting of a farm, and then we will create our own farm, maybe a sensory being, and we will act out what we can do there. Now, we know how to fit it. Again, let's go to why. So why? I have told you already why teachers should introduce the big art into their classrooms. And you have seen in terms of cognitive development how it is useful. But now let's look at the kids. Let's think about them, because we always focus on our learners. First of all, they learn to read a painting and understand its story, which means that they discover a whole new world of stories and adventures. So it's not just a painting of green grass and some children. No, there is a story. Afternoon, the kids are tired because they have been playing for a long time, or maybe they are talking about a surprise party for their parents. We never know. The big art also gives them an opportunity to express themselves and express their feelings, which makes their learning more personal. So you can try it. You can take one painting and try it with different groups, and you will see that all the thoughts and emotions and feelings that your learners share with you, they will be completely different. And painting also develop their prediction skills. That helps us later, but they also enjoy it because they understand how cool it is. And our kids also start thinking critically. And you know, when we start thinking critically, our life becomes more interesting, let's say. Okay, so I actually have told nearly everything I wanted to share, but I'm sure that right now you are thinking, that's good, sounds good, nice, but it's time consuming. So how am I going to prepare for that? So that's why I prepared a separate site where I want to share with you some places where you can find something.
Хотите постоянно развиваться в преподавании иностранных языков? Школа Дмитрия Никитина проводит образовательные тренинги, конференции и курсы для преподавателей. Подробности о событиях можно узнать по ссылке в описании.
So first of all, I'm going to share with you two websites, Projects with Kids and Lean Newton Art, where you can find some ideas of crafts and also some ideas of crafts based on some paintings. So it's not that you may, what I mean is that you might take a painting yourself, choose a painting you want to work with, but there you go and you can find some interesting ideas what craft you can do. But these are just the websites. Now let's go to some books. Number one is art puzzle book, and there you can find puzzles based on different famous paintings. So ready to use, just make a copy. Number two is a must-have, which is called Art Children Encyclopedia. And I do believe this is a must-have because this book takes you from cave painting to the modern art. And there is a page with a painting, and there is a paragraph where they discuss this painting. So when you, and it's written in a very nice way so that children could understand it and could feel it. So I usually take some ideas from there when I want to think what I want to focus on in this particular painting. So kind of like, this is more like support book, I would say. And there is one more must have book, which is called Art Treasury. And it is a treasury. It is. Because it's a book where you have the painting, you have some discussion of this painting, and after that, there is an idea what project or what craft you can do. And they are all these ideas, they are different because we're using different techniques and materials. So that's why this is just a, I don't know, that's a treasure. That's treasure, really treasure. All right. If you want to remember all these books and all these websites, I have a separate QR code, and you can use it to get this picture of this slide. But if you still want to know more, maybe you want to get some ideas of more painting, because I have shared only some of them with you. So I'm always ready to share with you my ideas. You can contact me using VK, Telegram, or email, and I will be happy to share with you my ideas. What is more, I would love to share my ideas about CLIL, and I'm always ready to help you out if you are struggling with it, or if you just need some inspiration. So contact me with the topic you want to get inspiration about, and I'll do it. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you at the end of the conf. Thank you.